Hi, this is Team Nuclear. From now on, I will explain about the fourth generation reactor currently under research and development. First, I'll briefly talk about why we need fourth generation reactors and the sodium-cooled fast reactor, which is being studied in Korea among them. First of all, the fourth generation reactor is a nuclear reactor that aims to be commercialized after 2030. Currently, most countries that use nuclear power use second and third generation reactors. The initial reactors built in Gori, Yeonggwang, Uljin, and Wolsong are second generation, and Hanbit Units 3-4 and Hanul Units 3-4 are third generation reactors. In addition to the goal of securing safety and economy, the fourth generation reactor has the following goals to solve problems in the existing reactor. First one is to increase the utilization of fuel resources to ensure the sustainability of the energy supply. And the second is to reduce the environmental burden by significantly reducing waste generation. And the final goal is to resist nuclear proliferation and enable peaceful use of nuclear power. Types of fourth generation reactors include gas-cooled fast reactor, lead-cooled fast reactor, sodium-cooled fast reactor, ultra-high temperature gas, molten salt reactor, and supercritical cooled water reactor. Considering economic feasibility, safety, and nuclear proliferation resistance, sodium cooling expressway is currently the best one. Unlike the reactor currently in use, sodium-cooled fast reactor use sodium as a coolant instead of water. The sodium-cooled fast reactor has the advantage of reducing high-level radioactive waste and preventing nuclear proliferation by using long half-life, toxic nuclear species such as uranium-238 and plutonium, which could not be used as fuel in conventional reactors. In addition, while nuclear power generation is available only for the next 60 years if uranium-235 is only used in conventional reactors, sodium-cooled reactor has an advantage of stable nuclear power generation after 2100 because we used uranium-238, which is rich in nature, as fuel. Then, what kind of principle does the sodium-cooled fast reactor operate on? So, from now on, I will explain the principles and characteristics of the fourth generation reactor. The fourth generation reactor refers to the 6 candidate reactors that we set out to be practical in 2030. 6 reactors of the fourth generation nuclear power plant are sodium-cooled fast reactor, gas-cooled fast reactor, lead-cooled fast reactor, molten salt reactor, very high temperature reactor, and supercritical cooled water reactor, and 3 of these are fast reactor. Then what do you think a fast reactor is? As I mentioned before, the existing second and third generation reactors use the moderator. It is because if the moderator does not absorb some of the energy from the high-speed neutron, the neutron reacts with uranium-238 instead of uranium-235, so the chain reaction is not maintained. On the contrary, the fast reactor allows neutrons to react with uranium-238. In other words, it is a reactor that maintains a high-speed neutron without the use of a moderator. If this high-speed neutron maintains, it is absorbed by uranium-238 and is converted to plutonium-239. Then this plutonium-239 reacts with another neutron, causing fission. The neutrons released during this process react with uranium-238 again to make plutonium, or react with plutonium to cause fission and maintain chain reactions. To maintain this reaction, a coolant that is hot and does not characterize the moderator is required, and the reactor's name indicates which coolant is used. This means the sodium-cooled fast reactor, gas-cooled reactor, and lead-cooled reactor, respectively, refer to the reactor using sodium, gas, and lead as a coolant. In this video, we will focus on the sodium-cooled fast reactor, which is currently considered the most feasible among fourth-generation reactor candidates. Sodium-cooled reactor uses sodium as a coolant, as I mentioned before. If we change sodium into a familiar expression, it is natrium that we consume every day. The characteristic of this sodium is that it boils at a higher temperature than water. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius in daily life, while sodium boils only at 883 degrees Celsius, so it can run the reactor without pressure. Sodium also delivers 140 times more heat than water, which cools faster than water, allowing the reactor to run safely at relatively high temperatures. Next, let's look at the configuration of the sodium-cooled fast reactor. It has a more complex configuration than a pressurized water reactor, consisting of a primary system, an intermediate heat transfer system, and a secondary system. The primary system plays the role of receiving heat emitted when a chain reaction occurs in the core, and the core is contained in a liquid sodium tank. The intermediate heat transfer system is the part of the heat transfer between liquid sodium in the primary system and sodium in the secondary system located in the tank. The secondary system turns the turbine by boiling water from the steam generator with the heat transferred from the primary system. The reason for this complicated process is that sodium causes a violent chemical reaction when it comes into contact with air or water. Therefore, sodium of the primary system, which receives direct heat from the core, has to reduce the risk as much as possible, so it is designed to transfer only heat through the intermediate heat transfer system and not directly out of the reactor. So far, we've learned about 4th generation reactors, especially the sodium-cooled fast reactor. In the next video, I'll talk about how far research and development of the 4th generation reactor went now. This was Team Nuclear, and thank you for watching.